Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the World News today, a broadcast from Canada. My name is Sandra Asante. Headlines. In Greece, a train crash, angry protests erupt after disaster. Cyclone kills 14 in Madagascar and Mozambique. Also, U.S. congratulates Nigerian president-elect and urges calmness. This and more after the break. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying with us. To our first story, protests have erupted in Greece over a rail crash which killed 43 people, with many saying it's at an accident that has been waiting to happen. Reuters clashed with police outside the headquarters of the Hellenic train in Athens, the company responsible for maintaining Greece's railways. Protest was also held in the Thessaloniki and the Larissa, near where the disaster happened Tuesday night. The government has also said an independent investigation will deliver justice. 3 days of national mourning have been declared across the country following the incident, in which a passenger service crashed head onto a freight train, causing the front carriages to burst into flames. The front carriages of the passenger train were mostly destroyed. Most of the 350 passengers on board were students in their 20s, returning to the Thessaloniki after a long weekend celebrating Greek Orthodox Lent. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis said tragic human error was to blame for the disaster. A 59-year-old station master in Larissa has been charged with manslaughter by negligence. He has denied any wrongdoing, blaming the crash on technical fault. Rail union members believe safety systems were not working properly, with repeated warnings about this over many years. In protest and mourning, rail workers are planning on striking today, Thursday, at what they say is an official neglect on the rails. Pain have also turned into anger for dozens of dead and wounded colleagues to fellow citizens, the workers' union said in a statement announcing the strike. The disrespect shown over by years by government to the Greek railways led to the tragic result. It added in a comment cited by the media. Transport Minister Kostas Karamanlis resigned over the disaster, saying he would take responsibility for the authorities' long-standing failures to fix a railway system he said was not fit for the 21st century. To our next story, at least 17 passengers have been injured, 2 of them seriously, after a Condor Airlines flight from Frankfurt, Germany to Mauritius was hit by severe turbulence. The plane was caught in the severe turbulence by flying near Madagascar 2 hours before its scheduled landing in Mauritius. Footages of the plane interior showed damages. There were 270 passengers on board flight DE2314 during the incident on Thursday, according to Mauritius police. It managed to make an emergency landing at Mauritius International Airport around 6:40 local time, that is 2:40 GMT. Police said an emergency team evacuated the injured passengers to the nearest hospital. According to initial information, the incident occurred mid-flight near Madagascar, said Inspector Shivo Kothin of the Mauritius Police Press Office. The authorities are waiting for the captain's report to establish a circumstances surrounding this particular incident, he concluded. At least 14 people have died, 7 in Madagascar and 7 in Mozambique following a tropical cyclone. The number of people affected by the cyclone Freddy has also risen to 383,000. 226,000 in Madagascar and more than 163,300 in Mozambique, according to the latest UN situation report. Even though the intensity of the cyclone Freddy was not as much as we expected, hundreds of thousands of people are in need of humanitarian assistance. Recovery will take months. Pascalina Di Sirio, the World Food Programme's representative in Madagascar, said. Flooding is unlikely in southern eastern Mozambique and also Zimbabwe, as Cyclone Freddy did not extend as far inland as previously forecasted. We move to Nigeria, and Nigerian President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday evening in his first engagement since winning the presidency in the elections. Mr. Tinubu personally thanked the president for his efforts and commitment to ensure free, fair, and credible election, according to a presidential aide. The president-elect was accompanied by Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima during the visit. In a tweet, President Buhari described the pair as two men who are true believers in Nigeria and newly committed to progress and development. Still on the Nigerian election-related stories, the U.S. has congratulated Nigerian President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and citizens following just concluded general elections. These competitive elections represent a new period for Nigerian politics and democracy. The U.S. Department spokesperson Ned Price said in a statement. The State Department, however, acknowledged the frustrations among some Nigerians and parties regarding the way elections were conducted amid technical problems that have fueled accusations of fraud. It called on electoral body to improve on the highlighted issues before the 11th March Juba Nationals elections, noting that Nigerians were right to expect them to do better. The U.S. also urged all parties to avoid violent or inflammatory rhetoric at the critical time and seek to resolve any dispute through legal channels. Mr. Tinubu, 70, was declared the winner of the 25th February elections with 37% of vote on Wednesday, but opposition parties have disputed the result. The Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, who finishes third in the elections, has also promised to challenge the result in court. We move to Russia, and Russia's lower house of parliament on Thursday gave its initial backing to a law that will bring in longer prison sentences for anyone deemed to have discredited the Russian army and extended the legislation to cover the Wagner mercenary force. The chamber confirmed the law has passed what it called second reading on its official Telegram channel. Moscow introduced sweeping censorship laws shortly after ordering tens of thousands of troops in Ukraine a year ago. Discrediting the army can currently be punished by up to 5 years in prison, while spreading unknowingly false information about it can also attract a 15-year jail sentence. Vyacheslav Volodin, chairman of the State Duma, Russia's lower house of parliament, said a day earlier the changes would toughen existing laws, with offenders risking a maximum punish of 15-year jail term. A draft text also of the law seen on Thursday showed a range of serious but shorter jail terms. This is why I end today's World News. Thank you so much for having time to watch us. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. My name is Sandra Asante. Do have a blessed day. Justice for all.